Good morning, everybody. Garrett Rosendahl, 5'2" Fence and Dirt. The goal of this video is two-part. One is to show you how to establish the depth to dig your hole for a septic tank, and the other is to stay out of the wind enough so this audio is not complete trash. So I'm out on a house pad that we did about 5 weeks ago. Stem walls have been poured, footers, underground plumbing done, and so now it is our turn to come in and get the septic system installed. So this is a 2,000-gallon tank with a total of 53 infiltrator chambers spread out over 3 runs. So I've done a lot of the groundwork already. It's a one-man show out here. I can't hold a laser. I can't do a lot of stuff at the same time, but I have the math for you and I have the procedure. So whether you are starting either you're just doing your first septic system or you're trying to just grasp the mathematics, or you're a homeowner, hopefully this video helps in you establishing the proper height or proper depth to dig your tank so that you don't have to do the same thing twice. So these tanks, precast, we use a lot of polys, but this one's precast. Precast tank is pushing 21,000 pounds. There is no moving it once it's set, so make sure you do it right. So what we have here is the outlet of the home. I set my laser receiver to be dead nuts at the bottom of that outlet. That establishes the base level of where I need to start the fall from. I have then measured to the inlet of where my tank is going to be, and that is 165 feet. So what I want is a 1/4 inch of fall per foot is where I want to set this line. So 165 times 0.25. 0.25 is a 1/4 of an inch. So 165 times 0.25 is 41.25. So that is how much fall we need in the line in order to make sure things are flowing adequately when they exit the house. And what I've then done is I took my laser over to the inlet, which is right here, of where it's going to be, and I got a gauge for where 100% level from that outlet is to here, and that is 11 inches above this native soil. So when I'm establishing depth, that 11 inches is important because that's 11 inches I don't have to dig. So I've got a very high-tech drawing here. I'm going to flip the camera around. All right, so here's our house outlet. Here's our 165 foot. If we were to, I drew that line to the top of the outlet. That was a mistake. It's measured to the bottom there. But like I said, this is high tech. So that line represents the bottom of that outlet, perfectly level all the way out here. So it is 11 inches from that perfectly level line to the top of the native soil. In this 165 feet, I need 41.25 inches of fall. I need to dig this to the correct depth. So I'm going to subtract that 11 inches from that 41.25. That gives us 30.25 inches that we need to dig down from the top of the native soil to make sure that that inlet on the tank is exactly where it should be. Now, to establish the rest of the depth of the hole, and I don't think I mentioned it earlier, but make sure you have a cut sheet for your tank. Each tank manufacturer and tank supplier will have a cut sheet, and so you need to memorize that cut sheet or just familiarize yourself with it so that you can run through the math quickly, double, triple check, and then refer back to that drawing, obviously. But I know based on my cut sheet that from the bottom of my inlet to the bottom of the tank is 63 inches. So I'm going to add that to my figure of 41.25 minus the 11, which is 30.25. So 30.25 plus 63, that gives us 93.25. And then I need to dig 4 inches beyond that so that I can lay a base bedding layer for the tank to sit on. So I will add that 4 inches to it. And I don't have my calculator up because I'm using my phone to film this, but that is 8.1 feet from the top of native soil. If you didn't want to mess around with subtracting that 11 inches in the beginning, you would just do 41 1/4 plus 63 plus 4 and then subtract your 11, because we have 11 inches that we don't have to dig because of the natural gradient of the land. Now, if this was reversed and say your tank, your ground went up like this, you still need the same. So say this was 28 inches, which is a whole lot. Say that was the ground was going up where you're going to be excavating for the tank was 20 inches higher than the outlet of your house. You would do 28 plus 41 plus 63 plus 4, and that would give you the bottom of your hole depth, and the rest of this would be covered. You want to, in our case, we're not really stressed out about it because I know that this dimension from the bottom of the outlet to the top of the tank is 14 inches. And then I would have 11 inches, or yeah, I'd have my, would I have 11 on top? I know this is 14 inches. Anyway, I'm going to have less than 2 foot of cover by the time you do the math backwards. But that is the down and dirty way to just get the bottom of this tank established, and then your outlet will be 3 inches below that. So let me flip this. I hope this helps and doesn't really convolute it, but it's very simple. Establish your fall, get your measurement, establish how much line fall you need, figure out where your native soil is, use that figure to either subtract from what you're going to have to dig or add to what you're going to have to dig, and then use your cut sheet to get the dimension from the bottom of your outlet to the bottom of the tank. And then you're going to need to go beyond that so you can lay a layer of chips, bedding, whatever is adequate and safe for your septic tank. So I hope that helps, and I will do another video here shortly on how I set the height for the leach field. But this is Garrett Rosendahl. I will see you guys on the next video.